American Gangster tells the true crime story of the rise and the fall of Frank Lucas and voted drug kingpin, can't get it out, in the 1970s. Harlem and Rich Roberts, the honest detective, determined to bring him down. The rise of Frank Lucas, the apprentice. Frank started as the driver and the bodyguard of Harlem crime boss Bumpy Johnson. The takeover. When Bumpy dies, Frank seizes control of the Harlem criminal underworld. The blueprint. By bypassing traditional mafia middleman to buy pure heroin directly from Southeast Asia suppliers. The product. Frank smuggles the drugs into the U.S. Using military planes returning from the Vietnam War. The brand. He sells the high purity product under the name of Blue Magic for a lower price than his competitors. The pursuit by Richie Roberts, the outsider. A new detective, Richie is an outcast among peers for being fraudulently honest, turning in $1 million unrecorded drug money. Now, I had to say, man, I know me being retired law officer, I came in at $1 million, man, it was unrecorded. I had to say, man, there's a report that missing. I might turn in 500. The task force. Richie is chosen to head a new federal narcotic task force to target major suppliers. The discovery. Richie noticed a shift in the drug market and slowly uncovered the identity of a low-profile Frank Lucas. The conflict. Frank faces threats from corrupt NYPD detectives who demand a cut of his massive profit. The downfall and alliances. The raid. As the Vietnam War winds down, Richie intercepted drug shipment, compromising Frank's supply chain. The arrest. Richie arrests Frank outside a church after closely monitoring his luxury lifestyle appearances. The twist. Facing a lifetime in prison, Frank turns informant and cooperates with Richie. The cleanup. Their joint effort exposed and convict dozens of corrupt police officers and international drug traffickers. American Gangster was directed by Ridley Scott, written by Steven Zillan, and stars Denzel Washington alongside Russell Crowe. It was released on November 2nd, 2007, earning over $266 million worldwide against a $1 million budget. Production scales and tribute. Massive undertaking. Ridley Scott considered this one of the most physically demanding production of his career, requiring 360 scenes shot across 180 distinct locations. Real cartel extra. While filming the drug supply scene on location in Chiang Mai, Thailand, Scott hired local villagers, for some of whom have actually worked in Frank Lucas' real-life drug running operation in the 1970s, and played a crowd to fill the massive crowd during the boxing match scene at Madison Square Garden, the budget only allowed for 650 real-life human extras. The stadium was filled with inflatable dummies dressed vintage clothing. With Rise Rose, American Gangster marked the second time Denzel Washington and Russell Crowe shared the screen. Their first collaboration was the 1995 signed film, yes, that's how you pronounce that, where the hero / villain dynamics completely reversed. Played the heroic and Crowe played the synthetic villain. History versus Hollywood fiction. The myth. The film's most striking visual elements: smuggling pure blue magic, heroin inside the coffin of dead American soldiers returning to Vietnam, has been heavily disputed by federal investigators. And the real-life Frank Lucas, who later admitted that the drugs were hidden in secret false button built underneath the coffin, weather-side them. The Richie Roberts relationships. In real life, Richie Roberts and Frank Lucas formed an enduring bond after the trial. Roberts not only helped Lucas secured a dynastic reduced prison sentence for attorney informant, but he eventually became the defense attorney and godfather of Frank Lucas' son. Boy, I was talking about a tripper. I didn't know that myself. Bumpy Johnson's death in the film Harlem Kingpin. Bumpy Johnson dies of a heart attack directly in front of Frank at an electronics store. In reality, Bumpy died at a Harlem restaurant, and Lucas was not present when it happened. The lesson of descriptions. These are some of the famous lines from Denzel Washington as he played Frank Lucas in the movie The American Gangster. The loudest one in the room is the weakest one in the room. The context Frank delivers his legendary advice to his brother Huey, who shows up to a boxing match wearing a flashy, expensive Chilchito fur coat and hat. This is the most famous quote from the film. It defines Frank's entire psychology for staying low profile to avoid police attention. Protecting the brand, that's my trademark. That's my name on that. Blue Magic is a brand name like Pepsi, like Nike. I stand behind it. If you mess with my brand, I will kill you. Here's another famous quote. The context. Frank confronts compelling gangster Nicky Barnes, played by Cuba Gooding Jr., for diluting his high-quality heroin product, but still selling it under Frank's brand name, Blue Magic. This line showcased Frank's view of him not just as a criminal, but as a legitimate corporate CEO, protecting his product reputation. Dealing with corruption. What you gonna do? Shoot me in front of everybody? Come on now. Lose your job. Go ahead. The contact corrupt NYPD detective Topo Josh Bowen tries to shake Frank down for money and threatening him in public. Frank stares down without flinching. It highlights Frank's absolute lack of fear when dealing with crooked authority figures. The business